Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Next in CCM podcast. I'm your host, Tanmay. We are already in the seventh episode. Once again, a heartfelt gratitude to all of you from the team at FCI for loving us. Keep telling us what you like and what you don't. More importantly, what you want to hear about. Today, we're diving into a topic that's quietly revolutionizing how financial institutions connect with their customers: webhooks. Whether you're a tech expert or someone who just wants to understand the mechanics behind those real time notifications we all take for granted, this episode will be packed with insights. And today, my honorable guest is our very own technical maestro, Rohit Tiwari, solution architect for Varta by FCI. Rohit specializes in computer science, has 16 years of experience in application modernization and digitization. He has deep expertise in creating solutions to tackle complex CCM challenges for India's leading banks. Welcome to the show, Rohit.
Thanks for having me, Tanmay. I'm excited to be with the listeners of Next in CCM podcast.
Well, I'm a little jittery today about diving into a technical topic like webhooks, especially with a tech wizard like you.
Don't worry, Tanmay. They may sound technical, but trust me, they're way more relatable than you think. We're going to make this fun.
Fun and tech in the same sentence? I'm intrigued already, Rohit. Nonetheless, let's jump in. I'm going to start with the basics for someone from the non tech side, like me. How would you explain webhook? What exactly is it?
Sure. A webhook is like an automated messenger. Imagine this. You're waiting for a package to be delivered to your home. Instead of checking the tracking website every hour, what if the delivery company sent you a text the moment your package was out for delivery? That's exactly how webhooks work in the digital world. They notify one system when something important happens in another system.
That's a cool analogy. So rather than constantly checking for updates, webhooks do the heavy lifting and notify us automatically.
Exactly. Let's take another example. Think of a doorbell. When someone rings it, the bell sends a signal that someone's at the door. If your doorbell has a smart notification system, it might even send an alert to your phone with a message like, "Hey, there's someone at your front door." You don't need to keep looking out of the window, and you get notified in real time.
So a webhook is like a digital doorbell for systems to talk to each other. Got it. But why do we need webhooks? Can systems just check for updates themselves?
Great question, Tanmay. Technically, systems can check for updates, but in software engineering, that's called polling.
Okay.
However, polling is inefficient because it involves constantly asking, "Has anything changed yet?" over and over. It's like refreshing your email every 5 seconds to see if a new message has arrived.
How is polling different from APIs?
Good question, Tanmay. API is a communication interface that allows exchange of data between applications. Polling is a specific technique within API usage. APIs and webhooks often go hand in hand, but they work differently. With APIs, one system actively asks another system for information, like calling a friend to ask, "What's the latest news?" Webhooks, on the other hand, are like getting a text message from that friend the moment something important happens.
Like what you mentioned earlier, they're event driven, right?
Yeah, they act only when needed, saving time and resources. You might say APIs are like making a call, and webhooks are like receiving a notification. That's why modern CCM platforms use webhooks instead of APIs.
Ah, you made it easy peasy to understand, Rohit. So instead of wasting resources by asking again and again and over again, webhooks save time and effort by delivering updates only when needed.
Spot on.
How does this play into customer communication?
Oh, it's huge in customer communication. Let's take an everyday scenario. Imagine you order pizza. You want to know when it's being prepared, when it's on the way, and when it's at your door, right? Instead of repeatedly calling the restaurant, the system uses webhooks to send you real time updates like, "Your pizza is in the oven," "Your pizza is out for delivery," and finally, "Your pizza has arrived." These updates keep you informed without any effort on your part.
I love pizza, and that example too. So, what I understand is that webhooks seem to make interactions smoother and more efficient. But let's switch gears a bit. How do webhooks work specifically in customer communications management or CCM?
Well, in real time customer communications, webhooks are the silent heroes. They do three things impeccably. 1. Enable real time event notifications. 2. Automate workflows. And 3. Integrate different systems seamlessly.
Okay,
For example, let's say you send an email to a customer through your CCM platform. Now, what a webhook can do is that it can notify your CRM that the email was sent successfully. And then, when the customer opens the email, another webhook can update your analytics system with engagement data.
and it all happens in the background. Right, Rohit?
Exactly, Tanmay?
That sounds powerful. So, webhooks aren't just sending notifications, they're actually connecting different systems and automating workflows.
Exactly.
Cool. Rohit, we understood the role of webhooks in regular customer communications. We have also heard that it plays a critical role in accelerating the revenue streams for financial institutions. If so, can you give us an example?
Yup. Um, Imagine a customer receives a payment reminder via SMS. She attempts a payment transaction, but the payment fails. Then, a webhook can automatically trigger a follow up email with a payment link. If the customer still doesn't respond, the system could escalate the issue to a support team.
Amazing.
And you know what, Tanmay? All of this happens without any manual intervention.
Interesting. It's like having an invisible assistant managing everything for you. I can see how webhooks are transforming the way businesses communicate with their customers. Let's dig a little deeper. How exactly can modern CCM platforms leverage webhooks?
Look, modern CCM engines should use webhooks to streamline multi channel communication. Like with one single webhook, it can manage all notifications, email, SMS, and WhatsApp, you name it.
Hmm. Can you please unpack it a bit more for our listeners?
Sure, for instance, if a WhatsApp message fails to deliver, the webhook can automatically trigger a backup message via email or SMS. By doing that, you can ensure that the message reaches the customer through the most reliable channel.
Great, Rohit. That brings me to the next question. Do old CCM solutions handle webhooks differently?
Well, you can say that legacy systems struggle in this area. They often rely on outdated architectures that often use multiple APIs instead of one webhook. And even if they are using one, they are slow and less flexible.
Hmm. Like,
For example, a legacy system might only send a basic notification like message delivered. But modern systems can send rich data like email opened by Tanmay 3:45 p.m. along with the customer's location and device type.
wow, that's a significant difference. It's clear that modern systems offer more functionality. What about reliability? I mean, can you ensure that webhooks don't fail?
Look, modern platforms are designed with reliability in mind. I won't say they never fail, but they include retry mechanisms. So, even if a webhook fails, that can happen in the world of data transmission, then the system tries again. If it still fails, the event is stored in a dead letter queue for later analysis. This ensures that critical notifications are never lost.
That's brilliant, Rohit. Now, let's shift our focus on the banking industry. You have worked with them and have deep, first hand insight into how their CCM infrastructure operates.
Yeah, I have worked in this space for several years.
Tell us a little about how webhooks work there. Imagine I'm a customer who just made a large transaction. What happens behind the scenes with webhooks?
Great scenario to start with. Imagine you've just used your credit card to make a big purchase. The bank system processes the transaction, but there are a lot of moving parts involved. A webhook kicks in immediately to notify the bank's notification system, which then sends you a real time SMS or app alert. This is crucial because you, as the customer, need instant confirmation to ensure the transaction is legitimate.
Yeah. If it's fraudulent, you can act immediately by blocking your card.
It's all about speed and trust, right?
Absolutely. For customers, it's such a relief to get updates in real time. But Rohit, what are other workflows that webhooks can power in banking?
Oh, there are so many. Let me give you a multi step example. Let's say you apply for a personal loan. Here's how webhooks can enhance that process. Step 1. When you submit your application online, a webhook triggers a notification to the verification team. It lets them know to start reviewing your documents. Step 2. Once your documents are verified, another webhook updates the system to notify you via email or SMS about the status, like verification complete, your application is now under review.
Super.
Step 3. If your loan is approved, a webhook triggers a personalized email with your approval letter and next steps. And the step 4. If there's a delay, the system might use a webhook to notify you and provide an estimated timeline, reducing customer anxiety. So, thanks to webhooks, this entire chain of events happens seamlessly. Customers feel informed at every step, and the bank saves countless hours of manual work.
That's incredible. There's so much automation at play behind the scenes. And the best part is, from the customer experience perspective, it feels smooth and effortless.
Exactly, Tanmay. But it's not just about convenience, it's also about accuracy. Webhooks eliminate human error because everything is triggered automatically based on predefined events.
That's a great point. Now, let's talk about security for a moment. Banking is one of the most sensitive industries when it comes to data. How do webhooks handle data security concerns?
Look, security is a top priority, especially in banking. Modern systems like Varta's webhook framework include several layers of protection.
Like,
Three things: encryption. Webhook payloads are encrypted using protocols like TLS or SSL, so data is secured during transmission. Next is authentication. Webhooks use techniques like OAuth, shared secrets, JSON web tokens to ensure that only authorized systems can send or receive data. And IP whitelisting. Banks can specify which IP addresses are allowed to interact with their systems, preventing unauthorized access.
can you help us with an example?
Let's say a webhook is sending a notification about a high value transaction. The payload might include sensitive data like the transaction ID or account details. Now, even if someone intercepts the data with encryption and authentication in place, it's unreadable.
So, not only are webhooks fast and efficient, but they're also designed with robust security measures. What about compliance? Given that banking is highly regulated, how do webhooks help with that?
Great question. Compliance is critical in banking, and webhooks play a huge role here. Let me give you an example. Imagine a regulator asks the bank to prove that they notified customers about a change in interest rates.
Ah, that's a great use case.
With modern webhook systems, every event is logged. The bank can easily generate a report showing A. The date and time each notification was sent, B. Whether it was delivered successfully, C. If the customer interacted with it, like opened the email or clicked a link.
That's like a complete digital audit trail.
Yeah, that's how using webhooks in CCM ensures the bank is always prepared for regulatory audits. Plus, automated logging reduces the risk of missing records, which could lead to hefty fines.
Ah, that's where legacy CCM solutions will fall short, right?
You nailed it, Tanmay. As I said, they can only send a basic notification and do basic reporting. They don't have adequate features to meet such compliance requirements.
And I bet it also helps build trust with customers when they see their bank is proactive and transparent.
Absolutely. Let's not forget the customer experience side of compliance. If customers receive timely, accurate updates, they're less likely to feel frustrated or confused. For example, if there's a system outage, a webhook can trigger an SMS to inform customers about the issue and provide an estimated resolution time. Transparency, builds loyalty.
That's brilliant, Rohit. Today, we have already covered a lot, but I can't resist the temptation to ask how Varta uses webhooks, where it outsmarts other CCM engines in the market. And I'm sure our listeners are also curious to know. But it's already 15 minutes today. Let's park that for the next episode.
Sure, Tanmay.
Thanks a ton, Rohit, for making time for our listeners and sharing amazing insights.
Thank you again. Hope our listeners enjoyed it.
I'm sure. Thank you all for tuning in to the Next in CCM podcast. If you liked it, do let us know by hitting that like button. And do not forget to subscribe and leave us a review. We promise to do every bit we can to meet your expectations. So, goodbye all. Until next time, stay innovative.
This podcast is brought to you by FCI CCM, a premier provider of omni-channel, hyper-personalized customer communications management solutions across industries.